Kuşadası, Turkey is the gateway to the ancient site of Ephesus. Don't want the expensive ship tour? There are lots of independent operators for cheap, so long as you stop at a rug store. But try to find a tour that doesn't require a sales side trip? That's tough. But we did find one. Keep watching as we share our local tour that not only delivers that, but much more. I'm Troy, and this is the Port Lowdown. Kuşadası is located on the western coast of Turkey. While Kuşadası itself has charms we'll dive into later, most everyone comes here as a jumping-off point to Ephesus ancient city, a UNESCO World Heritage Site located about 20-minute drive northeast of the port. During the Roman Empire, Ephesus was the second largest city in the world and the capital of Roman Asia, one of the most complete and spectacular classical sites in the Mediterranean. The city once had a population of 250,000 and, judging from the tour bus traffic, attempts are made each day to repopulate it. So just expect everybody to be there. But while Ephesus is the crown jewel, the port is also close to other historic and spiritual sites. The House of the Virgin Mary, located on a nearby mountain, this chapel is revered in Catholic and Islamic tradition as the place where Mary was taken by St. John and spent her final days. And the Basilica of St. John, the ruins of a grand 6th century basilica built by Emperor Justinian over the believed burial site of John the Apostle. Getting to these sites while avoiding the high-priced ship tours was our highest priority. While we could have taken a taxi or a local bus, we would still be on our own to navigate the sites amid the crowds. So that leaves searching for a local, independent tour. We trawled Viator and discovered many, and cheap per person, but almost all of them included a mandatory stop for shopping or a dedicated restaurant under the guise of cultural immersion. But it's a standard practice here, and understandable. These are subsidized budget tours. With a cheaper tour, you accept that compromise so the operator can make a reasonable living. But we really didn't want to spend time at a rug store, but simply hire a knowledgeable guide who would take us to the sites directly, provide context, and maybe add some requested errands, like a pharmacy. But finding that was actually tough. Many tour operators deliberately exclude shopping stops from their written itinerary to maximize bookings. So we couldn't trust a published itinerary alone. We searched the full text of the reviews, even the 5-star ones, for keywords like carpet, and that's where we found it pop up. Requires more digging, for sure. But in the end, we did find one that explicitly guarantees no shopping. But there's a catch: no reviews. Now honestly, at first we wondered about this. So we had to audit the operator, not the tour. They had a valid tourism license and had been in business for 15 years. So this listing for no shopping was relatively new and skipped over for cheaper and subsidized options. Although it was a calculated risk, we felt for what we wanted, it was worth it. So we booked with Hatice from Bondita Tours. Communication was smooth and her meeting point was easy to find. In fact, she made everything easy, from the super spacious and air-conditioned van to her casual and friendly manner.
What I want to do during my tours is to connect with people and share our stories and see that we are part of history. And meaningful experiences can be created in such a short amount of time.
Absolutely.
The only thing you need to do is to come with open heart and open mind and open to other experiences. Maybe it's not always gonna be the way you want it to be, but in the end, you will live with being a different person.
Now, as the tour progressed, we realized there were some additional perks to the experience that we didn't plan for. First, time efficiency. She knew when the best times to visit a particular place were, and from which entry point to stay a few steps ahead of the tour groups. For Ephesus, crowds are a foregone conclusion, but the entry ticket and admission is coordinated by her, so it saves time at the turnstile. Second, flexibility. We needed to add a stop to a local pharmacy to find a knee brace, and she guided us to her own neighborhood pharmacy. Finally, the personal touch. The tour felt more like hanging out with a local friend than a formal tour guide. As far as the sites themselves, the Virgin Mary House was certainly a quick, easy visit.
We talked about the idea that St. John was here, he might have written his Bible here, but this idea dates back to the 2nd century. The idea that Virgin Mary was here dates back to the 19th century. But the most important thing that you should know about this place is even before the discovery in the 19th century, this area was already an important sacred or religious
Right, it's a holy place.
So this shows that Christianity in Ephesus has deep roots.
By the way, starting off from the cruise port, we found it still helpful to have some manner of orientation, especially if the guide is outside the port area or you need to understand the layout. To make planning all of this easier, we created a printable cruise port guide, which offers essential information like ATMs, sidewalk quality, landmarks, even tips and potential problems to watch out for. And we also included our specially pinned Google Map guide, which you can download, save to your own account, and use for directions even without an internet connection. If you want to give these a try, click our link in the description or check out our store at portlowdown.com. Next stop, Ephesus, with the driver dropping us off at the upper gate, allowing for a 1.5-kilometer downhill walk towards the other end of the complex, the lower gate. If you're doing this yourself, by the way, take the same direction unless you like walking all the way uphill in burning heat. And speaking of heat, it was summer and it was scorching. Water, sunscreen, and some sun protection is a must. These specialized ventilated umbrellas turned what could have been an unbearable day here at Ephesus to bearable. Not quite easy, but definitely way better than most umbrellas I've ever experienced. This saved us, really did. And we still got exhausted, but it would have been a lot worse without these. Also be aware that the walk is over smooth marble, which can get slippery and rocks. Wear sturdy shoes with good grip. We were in for a long visit, with about 2 hours outdoors as standard, but she kept us engaged the whole way.
We are surrounded by ruins right now and tourists all around. But 2,000 years ago, this was one of the wealthiest cities of Roman Empire. Importance came from its port. Every day, hundreds of ships coming to the port of Ephesus, carrying spices and silk, aromatics and wine, olive oil. You should imagine cities like New York, Istanbul. It was a city of constant movement. It was a city of different cultures and different faiths. It was a pagan center. Before Christianity arrived, it was one of the most important centers of pagan culture because of the Temple of Artemis, which was one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world. Because people lived and they breathed here. They walked through the streets, they argued with their friends, they did shopping, they were gossiping, they were enjoying the city, hating the city, loving people, not loving people, just like us, just like every city now. So you have to find a way to connect this life with modern life because things were not so different.
Now, the site has additional experiences that require an extra ticket, such as the terrace houses, the excavation site of elite Roman villas, and near the lower gate, with its avenue of trees and still active ancient amphitheater, is the Ephesus Experience Museum, which takes you back to what life was like in the city's heyday. You sit on the floor, but the show is great and the AC is strong. Plus, there's a cafe with cold drinks, a gift shop, and, of course, great bathrooms. Having Hatice provide not just air-conditioned van and driver, but warm hospitality and genuine openness made the trip extra special. We've been on lots of private tours for our channel, but we only feature the ones that we recommend and do again. And now she has one review. Ours. Now, we didn't forget the port itself. In our next video, we stay in town with essential info and some really cool hidden gems. If you got good value from this video, be sure to like and share with your shipmates. Also consider becoming a member for perks like port guide discounts, early access to new videos, and more. And as always, we love your comments. We check them often and love connecting with you. Keep them coming and see you on the next cruise.